Ms. Eggleston throws a curveball right out of the gate, stating that the man who raised her and her twin sister recently shocked them with the news that he is not their biological father. They've taken their doubts to court, suspecting that his claim is driven by financial motives. You won't believe what's coming next.
You and your identical twin sister state that the man who raised you recently shocked you when he announced he is not biological father. Finances are motivating your alleged father's claims. That you know for sure that the plaintiff's father is a white man and you are not their biological dad.
Here's where the plot thickens. At a family birthday bash a year ago, Ms. Eggleston and her sister accidentally eavesdropped on a conversation that turned their world upside down. They overheard their supposed dad confessing to relatives that he wasn't their real father, sparking the need for this paternity test. Brace yourself, the drama escalates from here.
And we overheard him speaking to some of our family members saying, y'all know these not my kids. That's what he was saying. We heard him. Now we was listening. Saying to our family members, y'all know they're not my kids.
I'm down here raising.
But our family members didn't say anything back.
Yeah,
nobody said anything. It was just drama. I'm just speaking under the influence of alcohol.
Exactly.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, Mr. Eggleston steps up to the mic. He spills the beans, admitting he's known all along that he isn't the biological father of the twins, a bombshell he attributes to his knowledge of their mother's past relationships. Keep watching. The revelations get juicier.
None whatsoever. We grew up as him being our father. He would come visit us. He would take us out. He's been there. He's on our birth certificate.
Yeah.
He's our dad.
Why is it that you believe you're not their father?
Knowing from the start, I knew they wasn't mine.
Wait until you get a load of this backstory. In a humorous but insightful recount, Mr. Eggleston describes how he first met the twins' mother in a scenario involving barbecues and noticeable physical attractions. This chance meeting led to an unexpected family life, setting the stage for the complex family dynamics we see today. And guess what? There's more to come.
She was in the backyard barbecuing, and I noticed his big, beautiful smile, big breasts. And
Notice those, huh?
yeah, made a date, you know. Eventually we got together, and I'm living in her mama's basement, and not too soon after that, she's on the phone calling some guy out, telling him to send money. You know, I'm pregnant, and she's looking at me going like this.
The tension hits a new high here. The court delves into the gritty details of financial and emotional neglect as the twins confront Mr. Eggleston about his perceived shortcomings as a father. The air is thick with accusations and defenses. Fasten your seatbelt. It's about to get even bumpier.
What school clothes did you buy? How did you take you as a man?
I'm a single parent, you know. I'm a single parent.
Claims that their childhood was less than stellar because you were negligent.
I was never able to buy 2 pair of Nike cell phones to this, you know.
You didn't buy anything.
Well, so now I get punished. I'm not money worthy, you know, to keep them happy.
This part tugs at the heartstrings. The twins reflect on the painful loss of their mother and how Mr. Eggleston's actions thereafter added to their distress. They question his motives, suspecting financial gain was at the heart of his decision to take them in. The emotional roller coaster doesn't stop here. The next turn is a doozy.
When your mom passed away, he did take you in.
Yes, and he took it. A year later,
he took it.
And before we left, my mom's mom told us he didn't want us till he found out he was gonna be getting $900 a month. She said that he was not hollering about taking y'all to Columbus. Money was involved.
So he packed you all
and she told us
and
to
moved you
prepare
to
for that. She said, be aware.
Yeah.
Hold on to your seats, folks. Mr. Eggleston digs deeper into his doubts about being the father, citing a rare skin condition the twins have that supposedly points to a different racial heritage. This medical twist adds another layer of mystery to the ongoing paternity saga. But wait, there's more to this story.
Forget what they said, I'm gonna just figure out on my own. And I found out that the skin treatment is not just for Caucasians.
Did you bring some of that research in? So in your mind, without expressing to them, your doubts are getting validated. Is that what I'm understanding?
It was validated on her birthday. When is your mother's birthday?
August 4th.
Add 9 months to that.
Are you ready for another twist? A family friend's testimony throws a wrench into the narrative, suggesting the twins' mother had a financially incentivized relationship with another man, which might align with Mr. Eggleston's suspicions about not being the father. The suspense builds as we edge closer to the truth.
So she sent a video statement in. I'd like to play that statement, please.
Right, you say he's not the father. He should have said this from the very beginning when the first month went Sophia. That's what he should have said when the twins were born. And I don't want Grant to tell me ever again that he's not the father.
And that's true.
The moment of truth is here, and boy, is it a doozy. The results of the paternity test are finally revealed.
When it comes to whether Mr. Rodney Eggleston is the father of Antonia and Rodnea, Mr. Eggleston are their father.
Get ready for a roller coaster. Ms. Sales claims she and Mr. Jackson were in a serious relationship and decided to have a baby. After the birth of their daughter, Mikia, Mr. Jackson denies paternity, leading Ms. Sales to seek legal confirmation and support. Buckle up because Mr. Jackson's comeback is a doozy.
Ms. Sales, you claim that you and the defendant, Mr. Jackson, were in a serious relationship and it was his idea to have a baby, but that your 3-year-old daughter, Micaiah, is here. He denies being her father. You want him to step up and take care of his daughter.
Did that just drop like a hot potato? Mr. Jackson refutes the claim of a serious relationship, labeling Ms. Sales as a side chick who is attempting to trap him because she wants him back. He firmly believes he is not the father of her child. The courtroom's next reaction is a popcorn moment.
That Ms. Sales is a former side chick who is trying to pin a baby on you only because she wants you back in her life. You are certain you are not her daughter's father. So Ms. Sales, explain why you opened your case today.
I opened my case today because I was with D'Amico for 5 years.
Hold on to your seats, here it comes. Ms. Sales opens her case, frustrated by Mr. Jackson's denial of their 5-year relationship and his paternity of their daughter. She attributes his denial to familial pressure and the child's lighter skin tone, which he claimed disproves his paternity due to their differing complexions. The atmosphere's about to get electric. Watch the crowd go wild.
Mr. Jackson, she said you were in a 5-year relationship. Is that true?
No, ma'am.
So what were we doing, Miko?
What were you doing?
Huh?
You know, she was like my side woman.
Your side woman.
She was your side woman.
Miko, you gonna stand her
So
lie?
it's your testimony you weren't in a relationship at all.
I mean, we had a relationship, but it wasn't serious. We was just, you know.
You left your ex to come be with me. How was we not in a relationship?
It was.
You couldn't script this any better. The court dives into the specifics of their relationship. Mr. Jackson insists it was casual and primarily sexual, while Ms. Sales argues it was meaningful and exclusive. This discrepancy highlights the core dispute over the nature of their relationship and the paternity issue. And get ready for the heat to turn up in the courtroom.
I made it clear to her before. She understood.
Stop lying. He came to my house every single day.
But you know, regardless, you could still make a baby even though she might have been your side woman. I mean, that none of that prevents you from becoming a father.
Yes, but I wasn't the only man that was smashing.
He's lying. He was the only person that I was messing with, the only person I had been with for a year before I even got pregnant.
The tension's notching up a level. The focus shifts to the circumstances surrounding the discovery of Ms. Sales' pregnancy. Despite Mr. Jackson's claim of a non-serious relationship, he accompanied her to hospital visits, which contradicts his narrative. Fasten your seatbelts. What's next is truly jaw-dropping.
And so take me to that day. How did she tell you?
First we went in, she had a situation with her urine, stuff like that, problem.
So you went to the hospital for something else?
Yes, ma'am.
I went to the doctor because
2
I
months
had
later.
a cyst ruptured stomach, so I had to go to the hospital because I was very sick, but he was my side piece, right? But he took me and went with me to the hospital. I was getting a lot of tests ran and things done to me. They was telling me no, I wasn't pregnant at the time because I had polyps.
The drama intensifies with this twist. Mr. Jackson presents a calendar to trace the timeline of their relationship and the pregnancy, attempting to establish a timeline that absolves him of paternity. The court challenges the plausibility of his claims given their frequent interactions. You won't believe what the judge will say next. Stick around.
A random person he found on my messenger that I guess had said, "What's up, hey baby?" One of the extra 100 guys that do that too, and he picked that one out because he was licensed.
Oh, so you're saying he concocted the cheating story after Micaiah was born?
Yeah.
Based upon her skin color?
Yes.
So you actually submitted a calendar to the court to outline your doubt.
I broke up with Miss Sales June. I got back with my ex July. We went to the hospital in August to check about her uterus because she had problems.
Didn't see that coming, did you? The court hears from Mr. Jackson's sister, who supports his claim that Ms. Sales might have been involved with another man. This adds another layer to the paternity dispute, suggesting possible infidelity. Watch how Ms. Sales tackles this curveball in the next segment.
Because he said Ashley admitted to him that she had slept with the light-skinned dude with dreads, and there's a possibility that Micaiah might not be his.
And what did you tell your brother, Ms. Jackson?
I just told him to take a DNA test, which he said he tried to take one.
Fake the fallout, started crying, things like that. So we had to
I
leave.
drove up there. It was my car.
we
How did
had-
I not
we
want
had
to
to
take
leave.
it in?
How do you fake a fallout?
She started crying outside the
broke
building
down
because she
crying.
didn't want to take
Was
the
you
DNA
standing
test.
there for you?
No, he told me.
Now, things get deeply personal. The emotional peak of the case, where the nature of their relationship and Mr. Jackson's feelings towards Ms. Sales and the child are scrutinized. Despite his earlier denials, his actions suggest some level of care and involvement. The judge is about to drop some serious wisdom. Don't go anywhere.
You don't go sit at hospitals with your side chick. You were not committed, and yet you all were very connected in the sense you spent a lot of time
Yeah, we
together.
played house, I guess.
Right.
I feel like there's a possibility
Girl,
that...
do you know who your baby daddy is?
No, you don't.
Yes,
but
I
okay.
do.
No, you don't.
I feel like a possibility that it's not my
She
baby.
was a side chick.
You,
and you
girl,
know
you just mad
was.
that your baby they never claimed you.
Here's the big reveal. The DNA results show.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jackson, you are the father.
Now I know who my baby daddy is.
Miss Sales, you don't have to do that.
Mr. Tessiner expresses his certainty that he is not Mr. Bradley's father, highlighting discrepancies in the conception dates and the fact that another man is listed on the birth certificate and paid child support. It seems like a straightforward denial, but there's a twist coming up that you won't want to miss.
You say for 19 years you've wondered, who is my father? And you're hoping today's DNA test solves your in-family mystery. Claim you are 100% sure you are not Mr. Bradley's father. Say another man is on his birth certificate and paid child support.
Prepare for a heart-tugger. Mr. Bradley describes the emotional impact of growing up without knowing his father. He shares poignant memories of feeling like an outsider at social and scouting events, highlighting the deep sense of void and longing he experienced. The emotional roller coaster doesn't stop here. The next segment turns up the drama.
Really tough going to my football games, not having a father there at my football games. I joined Boy Scouts, so I had to go with a friend and his father, and kind of felt like a third wheel when I watched them. It's kind of tough, and not having a father myself to go camping with and to take to the juries at the Boy Scouts, and kind of just had to go with the other.
Now, here's a curveball. Mr. Tessiner explains why he doubts his paternity, noting the brevity of his relationship with Mr. Bradley's mother and his lack of knowledge about the pregnancy. His disbelief is reinforced by never being contacted about the child. Strap in, because the revelations just keep coming.
I cannot even remember having sex with her, that she was pregnant, or that a baby was born.
Never.
Never.
And so when did you first come to know you potentially had a son?
His aunt brought him to my house and said he was my baby, but I didn't believe her because I had heard nothing, knew nothing about her being pregnant.
This confession might raise some eyebrows. Ms. Bradley admits to a relationship with Mr. Tessiner, but reveals uncertainties about the pregnancy's disclosure. This moment underscores the confusion and lack of communication that exacerbated the paternity mystery. But wait, there's more intrigue just around the corner.
Thought I had told Mr. Tessiner that I was pregnant. I'm not sure on that.
What he's saying may be true.
Right.
You may not have even told him.
Right. I didn't put anybody down on the birth certificate as the dad. Sure, I thought it was my boyfriend I was dating at the time. I hadn't seen Mr. Tessiner in a long time.
Get ready for a heated exchange. A heated discussion unfolds about the name on the birth certificate, with Mr. Bradley arguing that no name should have been listed without paternity confirmation. This segment highlights the legal and emotional complexities surrounding unrecognized paternity. The next clip cranks up the tension even more.
And the name was printed on the man's name on there until 1984.
All right, gentlemen, just one at a time. I want to understand you.
He did not sign that birth certificate.
So there is another man on the birth certificate. He was paying child support.
Went to jail.
Went to jail for failure to pay the child support. All the while,
She knew who my dad was.
Here comes a plot twist. Mr. Tessiner hears rumors that the other man involved took a DNA test and was confirmed as the father, which influenced child support obligations. This revelation adds another layer of doubt and complexity to the case. Hold on to your popcorn. The story takes another sharp turn next.
other man took a paternity test,
That's
was
what I
confirmed to be the father,
That's what
and
I
that's
heard.
why responsible
That's
for
what I
child
heard.
support.
Why is she going after the other man for child support in 1984? If I'm the dad, why didn't you go after me then? I paid child support on my other kids.
You might want to grab some tissues for this part. Mr. Bradley confronts the emotional and familial consequences of the disputed paternity, expressing frustration at the lies that shaped his upbringing and the legal entanglements that affected another man's life. The emotional depth deepens in the following segment, so keep those tissues handy.
And I told him in the car that I was not his son, and I told him how much we looked alike and how much we acted like.
Did the other man ever have doubt that
Yes,
you were
he
his
did.
biological
His sister told
child?
him, she said that I've got oceanfront property in Texas.
So she told you point blank?
Point blank. She said, I told you, because I seen her later on at my great-grandmother's funeral, or the one I thought was my great-grandmother.
As the court session nears its conclusion, Mr. Bradley emphasizes his desire for closure and the truth about his paternity, underscoring the personal toll of the ongoing uncertainty and familial strife. The buildup has been real, and the climax is just around the bend.
What they think happened, why they think it happened this way. Either one of these two people are processing what you went through as a child.
I've tried to be. If I didn't give a damn, not even thinking he's mine, I helped him get a house. I've went and fixed his girlfriend's cars, his cars.
He's right. I mean, she has lied to me a lot growing up. He did help me get the house.
Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. The DNA results are revealed.
Mr. Tessiner, you are his father.
Strap in, because this is where the roller coaster starts. Mr. McRae opens his testimony by claiming that Ms. Moore had him convinced for 10 long months that he was the father of her daughter, DeMiracle, before dropping the bombshell that he isn't. He's in court to prove what he has believed all along, that DeMiracle is his baby. The conviction in his voice could sell ice to Eskimos. Brace yourself, the plot thickens right after this.
Mr. McRae, you claim the defendant led you to believe you fathered her daughter, DeMiracle, for 10 months until she abruptly changed her tune and told you that you are not dad. You are here to prove what you've always known, that DeMiracle is your baby.
Here comes a curveball. Ms. Moore counters with a firm nope, asserting that Mr. McRae is definitely not the biological father of her child. Instead, she claims her husband, Mr. Moore, is the real deal, and she's here to prove just that. The stage is set, the battle lines are drawn, and the air is thick with drama. What's coming next will make your jaw drop.
Ms. Moore, you say you are positive the plaintiff is not your daughter's biological father. Mr. Moore is, and you plan to prove it today. Mr. McRae, you haven't seen your daughter in almost a year and a half?
You might want to grab some tissues for this one. An emotional Mr. McRae talks about the deep bond he feels with DeMiracle, who he hasn't seen in over a year. He talks about her being his world and how seeing her picture alone brings up so many feelings. Ms. Moore quickly counters, dismissing any resemblance between Mr. McRae and DeMiracle. Hang tight, because the emotional roller coaster is just getting started.
I can't have a good relationship with a female because that's all I think about. My focus is on her. She's so gorgeous. And the more I look at her, she looks like me.
I don't think so.
Mr. McRae, until she was 10 months old, were her father.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that.
I changed her. I played with her. I fed her. I just missed that. I want something that's my own. She knew that.
He did not change her.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. We discover Mr. McRae's name is on the birth certificate, officially making him the legal dad. Plot twist, right? Ms. Moore throws in another twist, claiming she was too medicated to stop him from signing. The court drama intensifies, and you won't believe what happens next.
This is a certificate of birth.
Yes,
Child's name, DeMiracle Serenity McRae. Father's name, Emmanuel Davis McRae. You are the legal father listed on this birth certificate.
Your Honor.
At the time you signed this, you had no doubt you were the biological father?
I had no doubt.
Why is his name listed as the legal father on a birth certificate if you say you knew he was not the biological father?
Because I was drugged up in the hospital, he had signed the papers.
Time for a big reveal in the delivery room. Mr. McRae didn't just watch the birth, he cut the umbilical cord, marking his territory as the dad, or so he thought. Ms. Moore wasn't pleased, suggesting he had no right to be there. This scene is more tangled than last year's Christmas lights, and trust me, it only gets more knotted from here.
You sit there, you wait through the birth. Do you participate in the birth?
Yes, I cut the umbilical cord.
You cut the umbilical cord?
Yes,
Yeah, he cut it, but he was sitting inside.
Well, wait a minute, Ms. Moore. Now, if this is not your husband, you weren't married to him, say you didn't believe he was the biological father of this child, he said he wasn't leaving unless a body bag took him out or security, well then why wouldn't you just call
Because I was already drugged up. They had with epidural in me and I don't remember anything because I was in so much pain.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, like the finale of a fireworks show. The DNA results are in.
The biological father is Mr. Moore. He is the biological father. Can you accept that?
I can accept it. It hurts.
I know.
I gotta move on. She's still pretty to me.
Ms. Parker drops a bombshell claim that Mr. Morton fathered her 7-month-old son, Aaron, all while being officially with his current girlfriend. She firmly believes Mr. Morton denies the baby because his girlfriend, who hasn't been able to conceive, has poisoned him against her. Just when you think you've seen it all, there's more jaw-dropping stuff coming right up.
Ms. Parker, in your suit, you claim Mr. Moore fathered your 7-month-old son, Aaron, while in a relationship with his current girlfriend. You say the only reason he denies paternity is because his girlfriend turned him against you because she's been unable to conceive a child with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're suing for $2,047 in back child expenses.
Hold the phone. Did she just say that? In a stunning twist, Ms. Parker reveals she's been involved with both Mr. Morton and his girlfriend, Ms. Lemon, both together and separately. This jaw-dropper not only stuns the audience, but throws a giant wrench into the paternity question with side orders of drama and chaos. Buckle up, because the roller coaster is just leaving the station.
Yeah.
You were having sex with...
I have sex with both of them.
With Mr. Morton?
And Mrs. Lemon.
And his girlfriend?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, threesome at the same time, or you have two separate relationships?
No, threesome at the same time, separate relationship. If I don't want to have sex with her and I want to have sex with him, that's what happens.
Okay. It just got interesting.
What in the soap opera is happening here? During a fiery exchange, Ms. Parker and Ms. Lemon spar over the details of their entanglements with Mr. Morton. Accusations fly, revealing layers of mistrust, betrayal, and raw feelings that highlight just how messy relationships can get. Hang tight, because the plot thickens even further in the next clip.
And so you're doubtful, Mr. Morton, because, say, there's a timing issue.
Yes, she
So I wanna
supposedly had got
understand your
pregnant
doubt.
in May, but from my understanding, that's only would be 7 months. She
I
had
never
my son
said I
in.
got pregnant in May, Your Honor.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my calendar so I can just understand. When were you intimate with Ms. Parker?
The week of Mother's Day, May 11th, I believe.
The only intimacy we had on Mother's Day was oral sex, Your Honor. How you gonna get pregnant off of oral sex, Your Honor?
Did anyone else lose track of the plot? Ms. Parker tries to untangle a naughty story of her pregnancies, miscarriages, and timing, which is crucial for pinning down whether Mr. Morton could realistically be Aaron's dad. This part is critical for understanding the paternity stakes involved and just how mixed up everything is. Stick around, the DNA results are up next, and you won't want to miss it.
This is not your baby. And as though I have a sonogram telling me I'm 13 weeks. So when I go to my first prenatal appointment, they give me a fetal assessment, and they say, no, miss, you're 8 weeks pregnant. Your baby is due December the 24th.
You went to your appointment and then your due date got adjusted.
Yes.
When you got pregnant, they gave you a certain due date.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said due date, this
That he
is
was
not your
not-
child because I was
Exactly.
not sleeping
My
with you
point
then.
exactly.
Are we at the climax of this drama yet? Finally, the DNA results are in, and guess what?
Mr. Morton, you are Aaron's father.
Thank you. I told you, like, I'm not no...
Can you even handle this? Mr. Miller throws a curveball by questioning the paternity of Ms. Troutman's newborn, Deja, all thanks to her previous fling during their relationship. This bombshell kicks off the paternity drama, shedding light on the emotional chaos and strained ties simmering underneath. Stick around, it only gets spicier from here. Get ready for a wild ride. Ms. Troutman drops the bomb by admitting to an affair, blaming it on Mr. Miller's lack of attention and care towards family duties. Her candid reveal uncovers the tangled mess in their relationship, exacerbated by Mr. Miller's mother, poking her nose where it doesn't belong. Buckle up, the twists and turns are just getting started. You won't see this twist coming. A jaw-dropping moment unfolds as Mr. Miller stumbles upon Ms. Troutman with another man, who she nonchalantly introduces as her boyfriend. This startling encounter intensifies their conflict and throws massive doubt on the paternity of their second child. Deja, don't go anywhere. The plot thickens even more next. Here's where it gets juicy. Amid the chaos, Ms. Troutman confesses to hooking up with another guy during their breakup period, adding layers of complexity to the paternity mystery. She admits to multiple encounters, significantly muddling up who the real father could be. Next up, watch how this tangled web is an absolute doozy. In an emotional outpour, Mr. Miller and his mother both pour their hearts out, emphasizing their deep emotional investment in the paternity results. Their raw emotions highlight the extended family dynamics at play and the heavy emotional stakes involved. Prepare yourself. What comes next is a real shocker. Can you believe what just unfolded? Mr. Dark accuses Miss Bailey of being a promiscuous liar who broke his heart 4 years ago by cheating during their relationship. Despite a one-night stand 2 years ago, he is furious that Miss Bailey is now claiming he fathered her 11-month-old son, Jam, which he believes is impossible. Miss Bailey insists that Mr. Dark is indeed the father and that there could be no one else. Just wait, the next moment cranks up the drama even more.
You say the defendant is a promiscuous liar who broke your heart 4 years ago, stepping out on your then relationship. You admit to having a one-night stand with her 2 years ago. Furious, Ms. Bailey is now claiming you fathered her 11-month-old son, which you say is impossible. Dark is a deadbeat who knows full well he is your son Jameer's father. You claim there is no way anyone but Mr. Dark could have fathered your son.
Hold on to your seats, because here comes a curveball. The conflict escalates when Mr. Dark explains their past relationship, detailing how he discovered Miss Bailey's infidelity through her best friend. Despite trying to reconcile and maintain a relationship for the sake of building a family, the trust was irreparably broken, yet they continued to see each other sporadically. Gear up, because what's coming next in the courtroom will truly twist your mind.
When I left out of the door to go to the store, her best friend came running out of the door to like, hey, Terrence, wait up for a second, I'm gonna go to the store with you. So, I thought that was kind of strange, like, why? We went on to the store, well, while we was going to the store, her friend started to tell me a story. She was like, well, I just want to tell you something. She was like, well, the whole time that you was gone, she was cheating on you.
Her best friend told you
This
that?
is what her best friend told me. Yes, ma'am.
And I only did it because I thought you was cheating on me.
Okay.
So you admit you cheated on him?
I did.
You won't see this one coming. The discussion turns technical with dates and times. Mr. Dark and Miss Bailey recount their last sexual encounter in early March and the birth of their son in November. Mr. Dark points out the inconsistency in the timing, suggesting that Miss Bailey was already pregnant by someone else when they last were intimate. Keep your eyes peeled, because the plot thickens dramatically in the next segment.
And And you're saying the last time you were really intimate was around in March?
Yes.
If Jameer's birth date is November 13, 2010, then that means the conception window would be February 17th to February 24th, 2000.
Right.
And you said
But I
you
had-
all weren't intimate until March.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Things are about to get even spicier. Emotions run high as Miss Bailey breaks down. Upset that Mr. Dark is denying their child, she argues that Jam looks just like him and expresses distress over Mr. Dark's denial, despite having 3 other children by herself. Her emotional turmoil is exacerbated by her previous experiences with paternity disputes. Fasten your seatbelts, the emotional roller coaster is not over yet.
What is upsetting you in this moment, Miss Bailey?
Because
Tell
he
the
know
court.
that it is his son. Like, my baby look exactly like him.
It's upsetting you because he's denying him?
Yes. You don't understand. I have 3 other kids that I take care of by myself.
You've had this same problem previously.
Okay, but I made sure that I wasn't gonna do it again. Like, I made sure that you was gonna be the only person.
You'll hardly believe your ears with what's next. In a twist, Mr. Dark's current girlfriend, Miss Bradley, testifies, questioning the baby's paternity based on physical resemblance and drawing comparisons with her own pregnancy timeline. The debate over conception dates and physical similarities adds another layer of doubt to Mr. Dark's claims. Stay tuned as the next exchange escalates the tension to new heights.
I'm his current girlfriend and I'm pregnant with his child.
What would you like to tell the court?
Well, first, in my personal opinion, I don't feel like the baby looks like. That's just my personal opinion.
So you do not feel like there is a physical resemblance?
Well, my due date is November 19th. My conception date is February 24th.
Get ready for a shocker. Accusations fly as Miss Bradley accuses Miss Bailey of deliberately targeting attached men, contributing to the already tense atmosphere. Miss Bailey counters, highlighting Mr. Dark's continued attempts to be intimate with her even after their official separation. Hold your breath, because the courtroom is about to explode with revelations.
He was calling my phone asking me could he come over and have sex with me.
That's a lie, Your Honor. I got text messages that I done showed to my girl when she wasn't even here, showing with Jessica like, oh, it's just me and Jameer tonight. You want to come watch a movie with us?
So you can be there for your child. You don't never come over.
I don't have to come over there at 10 o'clock at night and watch a movie with you to be there for him.
Okay, no, I wasn't.
Yeah,
Why
will.
would I want
Trying to
another
make
one
another.
by you and you don't even do for the...
This is the moment everyone's been waiting for. The court session peaks at the revealing of the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Dark, you are the father.
Buckle up, folks. Judge Lake directly asks Ramon McKnight if he wants to be in a relationship with Ms. Wilson, to which he firmly responds, "No, Your Honor." Ms. Wilson immediately counters, accusing Mr. McKnight of fibbing, claiming he sings a different tune when his current partner isn't around. You won't believe what's next.
McKnight been telling me that he's gonna leave her. He don't want to be with her. So Ma, you keep telling me this. He's gonna do it. He want to be with me. Then if he keep telling me he don't want to be with her.
You're not doing enough talking today.
Your Honor, I never told her one time that I wanted to.
Yes, she have, Your Honor.
This part is a hoot as the judge and Jerome, the court clerk, chuckle over Ms. Wilson's unique understanding of divorce procedures, waiting for her partner to make the first move. Their laughter and the judge's comment about this being a new type of divorce she's never heard before sets the courtroom abuzz. Stay tuned, the twists just keep coming.
So why do you think he was telling you all of that?
That's what I'm trying to figure out because he told me that he didn't want to be with her. He said he have to wait on her to do the divorce. He can't just do it. He have to wait on her to do the first divorce move.
Oh, Jerome, have you ever heard about that kind of divorce?
That's what
I don't know.
telling me.
I've been a family lawyer for just about 20-something years.
Your Honor,
Never heard of that kind of divorce.
As a woman, and I'm not even being funny right now, like, you're worth more than somebody who doesn't, he could have been with you.
Hold on to your popcorn. Ms. Wilson brings out a photo of Mr. McKnight in the hospital right after the birth of the child in question, which he confirms. His admission flips the script as it directly contradicts his previous claim of just being nosy about the birth, showing he might be more involved than he lets on. Just when you thought it couldn't get more tangled.
Let me see that evidence. So this is a picture of Mr. McKnight in the hospital room with you.
Yes.
That's you in the bed.
Yes.
And you shot that picture of him.
Yes.
I'm sure you had a good time shooting that picture. So Mr. McKnight, is that you in the picture?
Yes, Your Honor.
On your phone?
Yes, Your Honor.
In the hospital room with your mistress, Miss Wilson?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is where it gets juicy. Judge Lake nudges Mr. McKnight towards admitting he might actually be Shakira's biological father, given his suspicious activities around the hospital visit. His hesitant responses and dodging the birth certificate signing raise more eyebrows. The plot thickens. Don't go anywhere.
Wilson, we got to work with you.
So now Shakira's here under father's name for the birth certificate, just blank.
Just blank, yes, Your Honor.
Sounds like to me you had a good hunch that you could be Shakira's biologist. That's why you took your little self up there to that hospital.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So since that time, what have you done for this child?
I haven't even.
He's lying. He seen her 2 weeks ago at the hotel.
No, I didn't.
He gave me $200 and he seen her.
So you've tried to go see the baby?
No, I came to him.
Grab your tissues. It's getting real. Amidst the chaos, Ms. McKnight steps up with compassion, suggesting a bond between her children and Shakira if she turns out to be their sibling. Her empathetic stance in such a stormy situation is praised by Judge Lake, highlighting her noble character. The emotional roller coaster isn't over yet.
And how you can sit up in this courtroom, Ms. McKnight, and empower this young woman, I think speaks volume your character, because you don't have to be this kind.
May I also tell you that I just buried my mother 3 days ago. That speaks to how passionate I am about getting this situation resolved. Nothing in me wanted to get on a flight after burying my mother, but I do want closure from this situation, and I want the best for her child, believe it or not.
Here's a curveball for you. Ms. Wilson drops a bombshell by admitting to another possible father in the mix, further muddying the waters of paternity. This crucial confession casts significant doubt on Mr. McKnight's fatherhood right before the DNA results are unveiled. Gear up for the big reveal.
You believe that the co-worker is Shakira's biological father?
To be honest, Your Honor, I don't know who the father is. I can't even say it's his. I don't know.
Your Honor, the other co-worker, he's passed. He's not even here. He's just here.
Fortunately, that does not preclude him from being the biological.
But I slept with him way before I met Ramon. I stopped messing with the other employee way before I met, so he's don't have
That's not
nothing
what
to
he
do
was
with
telling
it.
me.
And here it comes, the big moment. DNA results are in, and lo and behold,
It has been determined by this court. Mr. McKnight, you are the father.
Thank you, Your Honor. He knew he was the father.
Miss Sanders steps up, claiming Mr. Jamarvis Brady is the real dad of little Caleb. And yep, she's throwing down a court petition for a DNA test to prove it. Mr. Brady, on the other hand, laughs off the possibility, citing a genetic mismatch. He's all about the eye color as his defense, pushing back that she better chase down Caleb's actual daddy for child support. Buckle up, because this ride's just getting started.
Month-old son Caleb's birth certificate, but now say Caleb's real biological father is the defendant, Mr. Jamarvis Brady. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that Mr. Brady is your son's father. Mr. Brady, you claim it is genetically impossible that you are Caleb's father, and therefore the plaintiff needs to get her child expenses from her son's real daddy.
Here's where the plot thickens. Miss Sanders opens up about her solo parenting struggles, noting Mr. Brady's zero contribution and support. Mr. Brady chimes in with his philosophy. Why visit or care for a kid that might not even be his? He's not buying the fatherhood story without receipts. Strap in. The roller coaster is about to drop.
The first thing is the green eyes. No one in my family has green eyes. Starting with my grandparents, my grandma don't have green eyes. My granddaddy don't got green eyes. My mama or my daddy. Her either, obviously. Me, I definitely don't have green eyes. I'm trying to figure out where these green eyes come from that's on this baby.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. The air gets tense as they dive into the nitty-gritty of their rocky communication and shocking pregnancy revelations. Mr. Brady is miffed about discovering baby news through the grapevine, aka Facebook, highlighting a relationship that's been more about drama than romance. The plot's about to thicken, so don't touch that dial.
He saying he don't want me, but he constantly takes my phone, somebody so what's up?
I come to the house, dudes coming and going all the
How you gonna tell me that dude coming and going, but you
I
not?
left her house and the dude through the same dude who she was texting.
How
her
you gonna
ex
get
came through while I was pulling off.
So you telling me that if you see somebody with your girlfriend, you ain't gonna get mad and try
You
to
wasn't
fight?
my girlfriend. We was broken up.
So you ain't gonna get mad and try to fight?
You ain't nothing but my potential baby mother.
Stories are not matching up. It don't make no sense.
You ain't nothing but my potential baby mama.
Just when you think you've seen it all, Miss Sanders recounts her nightmare pregnancy and the horror of a complicated delivery, all while Mr. Brady was MIA. She paints a vivid picture of rushing to deliver Caleb amidst serious health scares. The drama intensifies, and trust me, you'll want to see what's next.
My son, while I was pregnant, he had a cyst on his brain, and the whole time they were saying that, you know, if the cyst don't disappear, that he could possibly have Down. Just a lot that was going on with my pregnancy. Even when I had him and pushed him out, he was still going through a lot. His heart rate jumped from like 140 way down. So I had to hurry up and push him out. I pushed him out in about 4 minutes. My water broke at 9:56. He was born at 10 on the dot. His umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck and everything. It was a rough, and Mr. Brady was never there.
And the curveballs keep coming. Miss Sanders drops a bombshell. Another dude's name is on Caleb's birth certificate because at the time, she was convinced Mr. Brady wasn't the father. But whoops, a DNA test later, and that guy's not the dad either. Up next, watch as this tangle unravels further.
So yes, he did sign a birth certificate, but we got a DNA test found that he was not the father anyway.
She was gonna deliver. She didn't even tell me she was delivering the baby or nothing, Your Honor.
So did you inform him that the baby was on its way?
No.
You tested another man?
Yes.
You found out that he was not the father?
Yes.
And after you got that conclusion, you knew that at this point, Mr. Brady was the only other option?
Yes.
And you're positive that he was the only other option?
Yes.
And now, the moment of truth. The DNA results are in, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court, Brady, you are not.
I told her that wasn't my baby, Your Honor.
Sit down.
I told her.
Sit down over there. Stand right where you're standing.
I told her, Your Honor. I knew it wasn't mine. 100% positive.
You won't believe this. Mr. Brown starts off with a bang, asserting his unwavering belief that he is the biological father of Jaira, despite Ms. Lever's firm denial. He passionately recounts how deeply he has bonded with Jaira, providing for her since day one. Ms. Lever shoots back with confidence, certain Mr. Brown is not the father, highlighting the mismatched timelines and her involvement with another man. Just when you think it's heated enough, the next part turns up the temperature even more.
You say you have always believed you were the biological father of the defendant's daughter, Jaira Lever. You have loved her and taken care of her, but now the defendant is denying you are Jaira's dad. You are hoping today's results prove your case. Ms. Lever, you say you are positive the plaintiff is not your daughter's biological father and plan to prove it in court today.
Here comes a curveball. In a revealing moment, Mr. Brown recounts how a casual chat at a football game with a mutual friend first planted seeds of doubt about his paternity. Despite the shocking revelation, Mr. Brown's conviction doesn't waver as he recalls the close relationship and his constant presence during Ms. Lever's pregnancy. Ms. Lever acknowledges their closeness, but sticks to her story about the ex's role during conception. Gear up, because what's coming next is even more jaw-dropping.
During the time that I'm home, Ms. Lever and I were inseparable. You know, we did everything together. Even if it was just a 5-minute grocery store trip, we were together, you know, so I can't see how she had time or the opportunity to be with anyone else.
So you all had a real relationship?
Yes.
Yeah, we did have a relationship, but our relationship has been pretty much rocky throughout the course of the 8 years.
You're not ready for this twist. Ms. Lever steps up with a visual aid, mapping out the timeline of her rocky reconnection with her ex during a tumultuous family crisis. She explains how emotional support led to intimate moments, precisely detailed in her hospital rendezvous. As she lays out her case with the aid of the exhibit, the plot thickens, setting the stage for even more bombshells just around the corner.
Ms. Lever, I just want to ask you, how do you have sex in a busy hospital?
It occurred. I mean, during that time, we were both dealing with a situation that was very detrimental. During that time, we basically bonded.
Was this a one-time thing with your ex in the hospital, or did this continue?
No, it was a one-time thing.
Hold on to your seats. The spotlight shifts to Genesis, another child caught in the paternity crossfire. Mr. Brown expresses serious doubts about being Genesis's father, pointing to Ms. Lever's other romantic entanglements during the crucial periods. The revelations expose the deep-seated and unresolved issues between Mr. Brown and Ms. Lever, turning the courtroom drama up a notch. And believe it or not, what follows is an even bigger can of worms.
Around the time that Genesis was conceived, Your Honor, Miss Lever was involved with another individual that I saw with my eyes personally.
Were you involved with another man?
Me and Mr. Brown was on, we were on a break.
What type of break are you having?
We are no longer together because you are manipulating. You call my phone with all that crying.
I take the weight off of her.
No, you don't.
Having to be, I take the—
8 years, this man
honestly,
do not work.
And now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, the judge finally reveals the DNA test results, and the courtroom is electric with anticipation.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you are the father.
Can you believe how we kicked things off? Judge Lake lays down the situation with Ms. Walker, who's on a heartfelt quest for truth after her brush with death, eager to pinpoint her biological dad. She's convinced Bruce Simmons might be the guy, but first, she's got to sway his skeptical wife. Just the beginning, folks. Strap in for more eyebrow raisers.
That your near-death experience has made your desire to determine your biological father. After believing one man was your father, you learned about another possibility. Now, you'll meet him for the first time in a minute, but you say you might must first prove to his doubtful wife.
Here's where it gets juicy. Mrs. Simmons stands her ground, utterly convinced her husband Bruce couldn't possibly be Ms. Walker's father. She throws down a sterility claim that dates back decades. Talk about a plot twist. Buckle up, because this roller coaster's just hit the first climb.
That there's absolutely no way your husband is Ms. Walker's biological father. Walker needs to let go of this fantasy and move on to another candidate.
We've been together since we were 15. We just got married 2003. I have 2 biological kids. I believe he can't make no kids.
Oh, the plot thickens. Ms. Walker dives into her backstory, hitting us with a tale of medical emergencies and mistaken paternity that sounds straight out of a soap opera. She ties it together with a mysterious family reunion instigated by a roadside encounter. You won't believe what's coming up next. Keep your popcorn handy.
And in order to have this lung biopsy, they said that I can reach out to my family before they went for donor blood. So I called my dad that I was told that was give blood so I wouldn't have to have donor blood. The doctors comes into me and told me, the guy that you were thinking that's your father, there's no possible way. We wasn't able to use his blood.
The temperature's rising in here as Ms. Simmons disputes Ms. Walker's story, calling it a fantasy. Judge Lake steps in to try and cut through the fog. The courtroom's buzzing, and just when you think it can't get more heated, the next revelation is a doozy.
What to me? That's my husband.
You, but I'm not asking y'all for nothing. I don't want nothing. Don't.
You building somebody. You building somebody.
No, I don't.
Are you upset that she made contact, or are you upset that your husband may be her biological father?
No, never that, because he wants to be a father.
Hold on, you say none of that.
None of that.
Get ready for a curveball. Judge Lake digs deep, underscoring the stakes involved. This isn't just about family trees, it's about Ms. Walker's health. She recounts a voice message from Bruce Simmons that threw her for a loop, shared with just about everyone she knows. The suspense is building, and what happens next might just topple your socks off.
Mr. Simmons tell you he believed that he's your father.
Yes, ma'am, he did.
He did.
He did. Jerome, I think it's time we meet Mr. Simmons.
Yeah, please bring him in. Please.
Hello. Can I give you a hug?
Here comes a major player. Bruce Simmons steps into the spotlight with his version of events, detailing a fleeting romantic escapade with Ms. Walker's mom that sounds like a weekend to remember, or forget, depending on who you ask. The tale adds layers to the drama, and guess what? There's more to come.
When me and her mother got together, I was trying to get her sister, her mother's sister. That's how it really started out. It happened, her mother pushed up and said that I'm gonna make, because her sister wasn't that into me at that time. Courting each other, they called it courting back then. And we made plans to spend that weekend together. So we spent that weekend together, and then after that, we lost touch with each other.
All right, here's a critical moment. Bruce addresses the big S, sterility. He admits to some issues, but isn't buying the whole sterile story. This opens up a can of worms about potential paternity, backed by medical ailments that run in the family. Hold tight, this revelation train has no brakes.
And it runs in my family.
Can I say something?
My son has diabetes. He's 12 years old. On the men's side of their family runs diabetes. The cancer, me and my daughters have a rare cancer cell. I'm somewhere close to finding out.
That's one reason why I'm propelled to really find out, because there is a medical history in my family.
Feel that tension? It's palpable. The saga reaches its peak with a clash over Bruce's late-night chats with Ms. Walker, stirring up a storm of jealousy and suspicion. This courtroom drama is morphing into a full-blown telenovela. Prepare for the verdict. It's going to be monumental.
Intimately, this is a young woman. No. What I observe is a level of animosity with two women that are involved in the same man sexually, not involved with the same man because he's your husband. She can't take that away, but he potentially might be her biological father.
And now for the grand finale. The air's thick with anticipation as Judge Lake delivers the DNA test results, and the verdict is...
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Bruce Simmons, you are not her father.
I'm sorry.
Can you believe that just happened? Jerome adjourns the court and asks Ms. Walker to step up. Ms. Norville explains that she summoned the defendant and his wife to court to prove that he is the father of her 7-month-old daughter, Jacqueline. She attributes his denial to his wife's influence, describing the wife as immature. Just wait, the drama is about to escalate.
You summoned the defendant and his wife to court to prove that he fathered your 7-month-old daughter, Jacqueline. You say his denial stems from his immature wife, and you're here to set them straight.
The tension in the room just spiked. Ms. Norville affirms her claim that Mr. and Mrs. Ward's denial of paternity is influenced by Mrs. Ward. In response, Mr. and Mrs. Ward blame Ms. Norville for the paternity uncertainty, citing her previous infidelity. They express confidence that the DNA test will absolve Mr. Ward of being the father. Stay tuned, the revelations are just around the corner.
Mr. and Mrs. Ward, you state that Ms. Norville is the only person to blame for this DNA drama because she cheated with her ex. You and your wife are confident the results will prove you are not Jacqueline's father.
Did you catch that shift? In a heated exchange, Ms. Norville accuses Mr. Ward of changing his stance on paternity after marrying his wife, who he had known for only 2 weeks before their marriage. She highlights how Mr. Ward had initially acknowledged the possibility of his paternity when she discovered her pregnancy. The next part is going to leave you stunned.
Because prior to him marrying the defendant, the person he's known that he knew for 2 weeks, he never denied it. He was there when I found out I was pregnant. We were living together, so I don't understand now all of a sudden since the new baby and the new wife.
But then you put him out.
I don't understand how the new baby and the new wife, now she's not mine.
This is turning into a real showdown. Ms. Norville recounts their prior cohabitation and Mr. Ward's presence during the early stage of her pregnancy, suggesting his initial acceptance. She is baffled by his subsequent denial after his marriage and the birth of a new baby, attributing his inconsistency to his wife's influence. Brace yourself. The drama intensifies next.
That's Mrs.
He just
Ward.
texted you last night?
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get married.
Oh, you came with receipts?
I didn't mean to get married. I mean, it's just so much.
What is that in your hand?
I mean, but who's he with every night?
No.
So hold on, Miss Norville, what do you have in your hand?
The text message from him last night while he was in the hotel room with the...
You won't believe what she brought to court. A dramatic reveal occurs when Ms. Norville presents a text message from Mr. Ward apologizing for his marriage, sent from a hotel room he shared with his wife the previous night. The judge and courtroom react with surprise as she reads the message aloud. Things are about to get even more heated.
Nasty.
Oh, so this comes from Dean Ward.
Yes, ma'am.
I got married, which I shouldn't have. Just understand me, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
The courtroom was in disbelief. Ms. Norville provides a text from Mr. Ward expressing regret over his marriage and a desire to reconcile after a divorce. The judge queries Mr. Ward about his commitment to his marriage in light of the ongoing communication with Ms. Norville. Watch out, the situation escalates in the next moment.
I don't see you or get to talk to you, but I have to be miserable, no Kadeem. Then you write back, Mr. Ward, when I'm done with this, you can have all my time and you can have it now. I just want to get this divorce and be done with her.
And then, man, it's all the jokes.
Messy, messy, messy.
And then you say, bye, Kadeem.
What a tangled web they weave. The discussion shifts back to the paternity issue. Mr. Ward denies his presence at the birth and early life of Jacqueline, attributing it to the turmoil caused by Ms. Norville's actions. The judge struggles to maintain order as both parties argue over the circumstances surrounding the birth and paternity acknowledgement. The climax is just around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, because goodbye means forever.
You're getting all these text messages while he has a wife?
You wrote me first.
I did?
You definitely wrote me first.
What does it? Who cares who texts first?
You definitely wrote me first.
Like,
You definitely wrote me first.
Not my marriage.
He wanted to
That's
know
not what we're here about.
That's not a marriage.
We're
He wanted to know what hotel I was at. That's not a marriage,
Let's
sweetheart.
get some order in here. You say he was perfectly comfortable with the baby until he got married.
This was the moment everyone was waiting for. The climax of the episode arrives with the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Ward, you are the father.
Yes, I knew it.
When it comes to 1-month-old Kadeem Ward Jr., it has been determined by this court. Mr. Ward, you are the father.